Well, the next day I called the student with the brunette hair into the office and broke my commitment to keep in confidence the fact that Ted Bundy was under surveillance. I related the circumstances to the student, and she was upset enough. As I recall, she got a Kleenex out of her purse and cried a bit. I think it was a frustrated cry. It just can't be. She couldn't believe it. And shortly after that, the students actually, when he was arrested, they formed a committee to support Ted Bundy and to help him find evidence to prove that he was not guilty. Shortly after that, Ted Bundy was actually arrested. The students now became overt in their support of him. Ted Bundy came in. I remember very well, he came in, he sat down, he was very calm. In fact, that was one thing that bothered me about him at that point, I remember. He thanked me for being so willing to understand that he was innocent and still proven guilty. Those were his words. And of course, that's what we teach in law school, so we were that way. He then very calmly explained that in a few days he would be exculpated and things could go on normally. And I thanked him for the information, and he left. The fact that he was so calm and at ease was the first sign I had that maybe he would be guilty, because as I thought about it, if I had been innocent and accused of that crime, I would have been absolutely out of my gourd, nervous about the situation. So the students slowly decreased their support of him. Maybe they were beginning to feel the same way about him. And he was eventually convicted. I think it was a kidnapping charge in Utah. Years later, in the mid-'80s, I was teaching a class at Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas. And the students again approached me. Was Ted Bundy really your student? And of course I said yes, and then they were hoping for a diversion away from the syllabus, and I gave in this time and told the whole Ted Bundy story from my point of view. And the students were, of course, very happy that they had fewer notes to take that day. And afterwards, a striking thing happened. One of my students, who happened to be from Salt Lake City, came forward after the class. He had a somber look on his face, and he said that one of the victims was evidently his sister, that she had disappeared during the time young women were disappearing, and that evidently Ted Bundy had killed her. Her body was never found. Of course, I sympathized greatly with him, and I asked him, "Do you ever get over a thing like that?" And he says, "No, my family still is very much disturbed by the fact not only that she's gone, but that we could never find her body." The victims feel these things for many years after a thing like that happens, and I'm very sympathetic to them.